What up, people?
There you go. Good day, everyone.
I don't know if it's a good day, to be honest with you.
I mean, it could be a worse day.
Okay.
It could always be a worse day.
It's always a worse day.
There's always a worse day.
For sure.
What's going on? How's everybody doing? Today we have a Tacoma in the install bay that we're doing some research on. I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. We're doing some stuff. Very, very simple stuff. One of the things that is kind of interesting about the new Tacoma is it's got this giant screen in the dash. And it's actually not that difficult to get out. There's a trim piece that goes right here. That has to come out, and there's 4 bolts, and then the whole screen comes out, which is kind of nice. However, it really is not going to help you because most of the stuff you need, like the radio outputs, speaker outputs, might not be behind the radio, which I know what you're going, like, why wouldn't it be behind the radio? It's actually behind there's a line level output behind the radio, but it's a line level output that is heavily EQ'd. So there's that. So for the most part, it's kind of pointless what's going on behind there. But when you're not going to get your speaker wires there or anything. Where you're going to get your speaker wires, believe it or not, is here. Okay, this is going to be great in the future for all you Toyota guys. So up underneath the carpet, that's right, underneath the carpet, where the moisture and everything is going to be. It's like if you look like this, there's no slits, there's no fold-up panels, there's no nothing. It's hidden underneath the carpet is the factory amplifier. This is just kind of sitting here right now because we were doing some testing. But this is the guy. This is where the factory amplifier is hidden. PAC does have a T-harness that is for a different Toyota. It is not for this Toyota, so none of this stuff lines up. However, it does have all the wires are pinned, so we were able to get our speaker wires, which is kind of cool. So we were able to get this and do some testing, and that is going to be
by repinning everything. Right?
No, we just took the wires, we soldered it all together. So APH-TY02. This is for the Amp Pro. This allows you need this for some of the Toyotas. So yeah, either way. This does not allow you to add an Amp Pro to this car. All it's doing is giving you the 4 speaker wires in and out, which are located here. So there's 2 of them here, and then here's 2 of them here. So the gray, these guys are the passenger. This is the driver, and the corresponding ones we have hooked up here to the output because we were doing some testing with the IRTA. So we were playing with this, seeing what kind of signal we got, and it's heavily EQ'd. There's one all-pass filter at about 220. So if you're adding a sub, you're probably good. If you're not adding a sub, if you're doing mids and highs, definitely going to have to take care of that. So we were taking a look at it with our toy tool, IRTA2. Anyways, so we were taking a look at it with that. And other than that, it uses so this is a 2025, it uses the same speakers that are in the 2024. So it's these new 7-inch, I believe this is like a 7.5. Uses these. These are very common. Metro makes brackets for these if you want to use them, which is actually these guys, which is the 82, 81, 56. So those are the brackets. They've had those for a while, so it uses those. The problem is they don't make the plug for up here yet. So nobody's making that yet. And they've been using that since all through 2024, 2025, but no one has made this, so Metro doesn't have it yet. So that kind of sucks. 2021 Mustang, don't want to get loud, just want it to sound good. 8-inch W7 or 10-inch W6? That's a good question. What do you think? A W7 8-inch or W6 10-inch?
I would go with the 10-inch.
10-inch?
Yeah.
Okay. Fernando thinks 10-inch.
I love 8 inches, but, you know, just in case you want a little bit more.
He loves 8 inches.
I love 8 inches.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
I know.
So 10 inches.
You
Fernando's.
No, thank you.
Fernando says go with the 10-inch.
No, 10 inches.
And the W6 is an amazing sounding woofer, so definitely go. But I don't know. That's one of those weird ones. Okay. So, anyways, back to the nonsense on the Toyota. So really, the only plug that they don't make yet, and we've been dealing with this all year so far, is the one for up here. We've been taking those off of the speaker and then just plugging them in. Up here in the dash, if you've never seen the Alpine, what is this? The Sensus? No, what is this? Which Alpine is it? Status. This is the Alpine Status tweeter. I just want you to admire how physically huge this speaker is. So it sticks up rather far, which when you look at, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's mounted in, this is 1/4 inch, this is 3/4 of an inch into the dash, deep into the dash. So 3/4 of an inch in deep the dash, and then it's got this giant back plate on it. So this is almost bigger than a 3.5. It can't stick up because this is all we got. It's very flat. You can see from this corner right here, like it's super flat. So that nipple is gonna get in the way. So the nipple has to be below the line. And when you look at the speaker, so this is something to keep in mind when you're designing your speaker panels, is, you know, there's that line. That's what goes on that panel we were just looking at. That sits right on there. So there's no height. So everything has to be down low. That's why they make the 3.5s and the 2 in the middlers and all that. Sometimes you got to sink them down into the dash to have room for the grill to go on. So yeah, so there's something to think about when designing these brackets, whether you're going to laser them or 3D print them or whatever you want to do. As we were also using this RTA to figure out what was going on, because naturally, you know, Toyota, we first thought, oh, the speaker's behind the radio, no big deal, and tested them there, and we're like, oh, it's not there. And the dead giveaway. So the question you're going to ask me is, how do I know if I have a Tacoma with an amplifier and a Tacoma without an amplifier, meaning my speaker wire is behind my radio? So the easiest way to tell is that if you don't have the purple wires, the pinkish purple wires, hang on, they look like this color right here. If they don't have those colors, that pinkish purple color behind the radio, then and it has a thin wire behind the radio at that speaker plug, there's going to be an amplifier in each seat. So that's the clue for you, as we found out today. These are seat covers, by the way, too. These are really neat seat covers. Like, pretty cool seat covers. No subwoofer, just some speakers he wants to do, and then an amp to power them. So that's really all that's happening in this guy. Yeah. Fernando's made the bracket. It's a very small amplifier. This is the fuse holder that he's made. Very big bracket, very tiny fuse holder. So he went crazy.
I'm thinking of the future, man.
You're thinking of the future.
Yeah.
I agree. So for the doors, we made our own brackets, and this is a template. So we made them out of 1/2-inch blown PVC for the risers, and the base is made out of the 1/4-inch ABS. It's made out of 1/4-inch ABS, so it's very rigid. and then this gives us a riser. So there's a 1/4 inch and then 2 pieces of half, and then we countersunk them in using this bad boy right here, this because we wanted them to get nice and flush, because you run into the same problems on the door. Do I have a light? Let me get a light right here. Let me show you what the door looks like. So you don't want them to stick out and hit the door. So here is, so this guy, we made it the same size as the factory so that it would cover the same surface area. So if we were to make it a 6.5, then there would be gaps in the factory bezel that goes here, that edge. We want it to attach to our fast ring or our piece of foam. So we kept the same size as the factory, and then we countersunk in the driver. So there's plenty of room for it to move. So there's like an inch and a quarter, tons of room off of the driver, so it won't hit, you know, but it's isolated in there perfectly, so you can kind of see the foam where it attached to, where it's pushing into that. So then if you go look at the factory, no sub, let's not talk about that. So we're trying to emulate this. So we want to replicate this so that our speaker that we're putting in looks just like this guy does here. So we know that the Toyota did this and this works. So we're going to replicate this same form factor so that our speaker will go in the exact same way. And so how we did that side is we actually used this one and removed the foam for it, and we used this to make our template so that when we added our foam onto it, it would line up the same way. GB15s will fit in the dash. I think the GB15 would fit in the dash pretty easily because this thing is gigantic. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It is flipping huge. Okay, so you want some measurements, because that would be helpful, right? So let's take a look at some measurements. Okay, let me go over here to the drawing. Let's look at the CAD, shall we? So these are all the different pieces, but the opening for the speaker is this right here, which is 2 3/4 of an inch. This is 2 3/4 of an inch. It's huge. Now the main opening on the top is 3.6 inches. So the diameter of this piece right here, the spacers that we used. So there's just, it's like 3.8 is the maximum size on the outside. Then these are 3.6. So they're basically this shape. This was the riser. So there's 2 of these, and then this is the overall. And so then this red line is the diameter of the tweeter. So one is the diameter of the outside of the tweeter, and the other one is the back sides, because this, you can see, like, this side is a little smaller. It does that step up. So the diameter of the back side of the tweeter, oh, okay, come on, you can do it. Oh, I'm touching the wrong spot. Is 2.44 inches. So it's pretty substantial. Dean, what do you think about the audio dynamic? I haven't had a chance to play with it. Dang, GB25 size. It's huge. Yeah, these things are super big. Super big. Lots of room. You know, so. And the nice thing is, the most important thing is we have lots of depth. Because, I mean, look how deep that has to stick in. You know, it's like deeper than this is deeper than most mid-range. So you got nothing to worry about there. If this fits, you know, you're golden. And it just drops right in. And so then when this goes in, that lip will cover right over it and be super fantastic. So, is there a vehicle that you find the least annoying to work on, and that you found a lot of different things that you can do component-wise? You know, it's funny because immediately I was thinking about the F-150 with the VO system in it, but then I remember how stupid the dash is and how limited we are. So it's like, it never fails. There's always some part of something that one speaker just doesn't work right. Like, we would never be able to put that tweeter anywhere else in this car. Like, it would never, you'd have to build these gigantic A-pillars just with this softball or baseball, I guess baseball, right? You know, sticking off of here, just looking cheesy. So it's just, yeah, when you say lots of options, that's where it gets kind of weird, because it's usually a limited amount of options. Like, we're just like, something has to fit, and then we're just going to go with what fits. You know, there's usually maybe 2 options. It's expanding though, you know, like Arc Audio has the new A series speakers that are pretty cool because they have a normal mid-range and the tweeter isn't oversized, which is very similar to like the Flax. You know, it's the Flax, believe it or not, fit in a lot. Who was that? That was weird. That
Siri over there on your laptop.
Might have been Siri on my laptop. That was very strange. Yeah, it's just voices coming from the other side of the install bay. Hey, good news. Today is Monday. That means one thing. At 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will be going live and answering all your questions. This is also the new Florida logo 5-star shirt. They're not available for purchase yet. We're getting there. The plan was 2025 was going to be the year for making shirts. It's probably going to be 2026 realistically. But hey, we're doing a lot. We're coming up with some cool ideas. Lots of new colors. Lots of new prints. So a little bit more fun. Here's some bass knobs we made last week. This is a new 5-star bass knob. Like, pretty cool, right? So we made a whole bunch of different bass knobs. So Fernando made this bass knob, and then we redid it in this form factor. This one we painted and realized painting was stupid. So then we put a 5-star logo on it and did not paint it and liked that better. We did some stair stepping here to try to mitigate most of that. This was my first attempt at a bass knob, and just to see, and then that turned into this, which I changed the slope here, and then once we got this, and then that went to a much smaller version of it. And then he wanted to emulate the Rockford bass knob, which this is not the Rockford bass knob, so I made this one, and then we put a 5-star logo on top, and it's way too small, so we decided not to do that. But yeah, so we're just trying to come up with, because this bass knob that comes with the P300 sucks, because it looks like crap and it's tiny, and we have to cut it so it doesn't. So we want to come up with something that looks nicer. So something like this or something like this would look, would be a much nicer, nicer bass knob. So, and then this was modeled after like a rack mount level controller, because I'm old school and I thought that was cool. So we're thinking about next, we'll make this guy and we'll put a red. We'll make this red where the inset is. Yeah, Monopoly hat. Yeah, there you go. So this was last week's project. We haven't come up with this week's project yet. But we'll come up with a project for this week. But yeah, so simple stuff. So he designed his Infusion, and I did not. So these were not made in Fusion, because what's the challenge, right?
It's Dean's against the machine.
It's Dean's against the machine, as Sage says. It's Dean. I'm just going to call you Dean against the machine. So he designs it in Fusion, and I figure out ways to not design it in Fusion. How difficult is it to tune the Arc Audio DSP software for the basic to mild level DIY? It doesn't matter whether you're DIY or never touched a DSP before. There are certain things that you need in order to tune any DSP, and one of those is a RTA, real-time analyzer of some kind, so you're going to need some kind of a microphone. The easiest way that I can think to do it is to pick yourself up some form of a USB mic. Studio 6 has them. You can go studio6.com. You can also go to Speaker Parts Express has the Dayton USB mic. There's a couple other ones too, like Mini DSP has a USB mic. Just get one, they're about $80. And plug it into a tablet of some kind. There's plenty of DSP software for iPads. Oh my God, it's Paul. It's like a Yeti sighting. There's plenty of there's plenty of RTA apps for iPad, and there's like maybe one for Android, which one is all you need. And then you can use that to listen to the car. And then from there, you'll make adjustments. As a noob, depending on how it's going to connect, we'll assume that you're not going to be doing any de-equalization, just equalization. So I would start out small, get the crossover set up, and then just do global adjustments. In the EQ tab, you can turn on all of the EQs at once and make one adjustment. And as you get better, start breaking it down into tweeter, mid-range, mid-bass, whatever works for you. But just kind of take it slow and work your way through it. But you got to have that microphone. And what I would do is stick it right into the headrest. Just stick it in, face it forward, shut the door. Don't tune it sitting in the car. Play pink noise. Mm-hmm. You can get pink noise off of My Disc, Sheffield Labs. You can get it from Kicker. I don't know if the Educar Test and Tune app is still available. That's where we get it. Andy, I think, has it up on AudioFrog's website.
Yeah, he has a lot.
Which is very nice. I think that's who Ken took his version of it from. So, because it's really good. This just slides out. It just pulls out. Yep, just give a Yankee. That's it. Yep, straight out. You got it. And that's it. Mm-hmm. Yep, piece of cake.
Okay.
Is that for this one?
That's for that one, yes, sir.
Very nice. So he's running the tweeter wires across. Because we're going to go active, channels 1 and 2 on the amp will power the tweeters. Channel 3 and 4 will power the mid-bass. So we're running the wires over to the kick panel to make our lives easier. We'll make a connection there with either some form of a plug. It won't be either. It'll be some form of a plug. Yeah. All right. So it's 5:45-ish. 6:30 we'll be live. I'm going to let you go right now. That's what's happening in the Bay. This show is brought to you by the fine folks at MorelloHiFi.com. If you're looking for best-in-class audio, or like last week, someone was asking about an affordable three-way set, Morello has two high-end affordable three-way sets. You can head over to MorelloHiFi.com and check them out and see if they make a set of speakers that will work for you. Where can they find it, Fernando?
MorelloHiFi.com.
Boom. Thank you for supporting the show, and thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tonight. What do you like?
The ceiling.
The ceiling?
Yeah, the headliner.
Not all of them come with a starry headliner.
Well, I like the one that has that.
I mean, we could put a starry headliner in your car.
We can put a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we just need time.
Yeah.
Well, there's the sound of somebody having a worse day.
Is the sound an employee's? Whoop, whoop. It's not the song?
That is the song. All right, good day, everyone, and welcome to this beautiful Tuesday. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, glorious day. There we go. We're just finishing up this Titan here. Quick speaker swap. Hey, from Iowa. It's Iowa Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Ready
to play soccer?
I don't think he's going to play soccer.
I think he can play.
Oh, you missed the spot right here. This was just a quickie. A gentleman just bought this, and every speaker in it was dead. So, new top of the dash, new doors. So, hello, Dean and Fernando from hot, muggy Akron, Ohio.
Hi.
Dean, have you used the Access AX DSPX? Yes, a couple times. Mainly in the Chevys. Now here's the next question I'm going to ask is, how do you like it? I don't, but it works. And it's a DSP, and it's just as good as like the other Chinese DSPs out there. The only problem that we had with it, and it wasn't really a problem. Okay, so the only hurdle, let's do with that. That's a much easier thing. The only hurdle we have with that is like on the GM, it goes in the passenger kick panel because that's where the amplifier is. And so you end up having to do everything from that side of the car because the Bluetooth won't reach over here to the driver's side of the car. So when we're tuning it, I had to which we didn't find out till the end. So we had to kind of jockey the vehicle over a little bit so we could put our tuning station on that side, which really didn't fit. So that was really the only drawback on it. Very primitive DSP, simple to use. It worked in the end. The one thing that I found that was kind of bugging me is I didn't like the crossovers in the DSP, so we were doing an LX. The Kenwood, the last one we did, we were doing Kenwood LX 713. I ended up using the crossovers on the 713 because it has the cool little keypad, way easier to use. And I thought those were better crossovers, and it seemed more accurate than what I was getting out of the AX DSP. Sound-wise, EQ-wise, sounded fine. It was good. It was a lot of work. My fingers were sore from doing a lot of sliders and stuff like that, which I prefer laptop DSPs. So typically with that, we try to do the light version of it and then not just set it up as an Amp Pro. Because they have a version of it for non-Bose GM, and it controls the door chime, so it's worth every penny. I think we have a video showing how that works. I know we do. So it's worth every penny. We just do it as a light. Sometimes we ended up using, one time we did the light, and we put in a Q class, and the Q class didn't like the new alternator electrical system in the GM because it would peg up to 15 volts, and the Q class couldn't do that. So his Q class was freaking out. So we ended up swapping the Q class out for a 901.5 from Kenwood, and then just using the AX Lite DSP, which had about as many features as the Q class did. So in the end, it all worked out. So, tech tip of the day. Sometimes you need a good set of tin snips. So I don't ever use tin snips, but when I do, I open this drawer and I go all the way to the back because these are all just bits. But back here in the back of this drawer, I have a plethora of tin snips that I've bought years and years and years ago. One of them is missing a screw. It kind of makes me sad. I'll have to figure that out. But these guys right here, they saved the day today. They did. They saved the day. They finally got dusted off after sitting in this drawer for probably 10 years. I don't even think they've ever been used before. But today was the day they got to have at it at these doors. Because these doors suck. And they have these two little nipples that allow the magnet to smack it. You just gotta remove the nipples. And the speaker goes right in and the day is saved. So, every now and then. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd much rather use an air saw, which is well worth it. But gotta have a set of snips. Just sometimes, man. Every now and then you got 1 inch that you just need to trim off. Have you done a Chevy Avalanche 2003 with Bose? How many is more the question. How many have you done? Avalanche back in that day was one of the most popular vehicles on the road. Everyone here in Florida loved that thing. They leak like a sieve, and everyone would want me to build them a box to go into the bed. That's back when I was building boxes. I'm like, dude, it's gonna get wet. No, it won't get wet. Mine doesn't leak. Sure it doesn't. Everyone's leaks. Anyways, yeah, we did quite a few of those back in the day. JL made a box that went on the back of those. They probably don't make that anymore. There's a couple boxes that can kind of fit underneath the seat if you know what metal pieces to cut. But yeah, we did a bunch of them. And we always took the factory radio out, put a new radio in, and bypassed the Bose because the Bose sucks. Man, it's 2003. There's no reason to keep the Bose. So, yeah. No yellow handle straight cuts. Yeah, I have them. Yeah, there's just a set of yellow handles in there. Of course there's yellow handles, man. You gotta have yellow handles. Here. Boom. Yellow handles. And actually, in this brand here, they're all orange, which at the time I thought was really cool. Now I realized how stupid it is, because they have an R, they have an L, and they don't have anything. Oh no, they have an S for straight. But you just can't reach in and grab them like on accident, which, you know, you gotta grab. Whoa, ooh, that one just went crazy. I gotta find the screw for that. All right, let's just shut that door and let it be closed for the next 10 years. Hello. El Fuego got his keychain. Thank you. No, thank you, Bobby.
Fantastic.
I figured only seeing the green and the red ones. I know. Nando.
What up, bro?
Nando. So, we watched Happy Gilmore or whatever it was.
Happy Gilmore, yeah.
Happy Gilmore 2. And the original one had Carl Weathers in it. And, of course, this one, they had the big dude with the fake hand as his son. Of course, you know, he had to have a fake hand. Basically, it was almost the same fake hand as Carl Weathers had. But Haley was like, who's Carl Weathers? And I go, Apollo Creed.
Did she watch the first one?
Yeah. Long time ago when she was a kid, but she wanted the synopsis of it. So I said Apollo Creed from Rocky, and she's like, who? And I said, the mayor from Mandalorian. Mando, how are you? And she's like, I hated that show. I said, yeah, but you still watched it. Yeah, she was just driving me nuts. It's like, oh, she just totally put it out of her head. Did you get the yellow side cutters that you left in the Mustang? Actually, thank you. Yes.
So much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Fernando that week decided to give away a bunch of his tools. So
now, if the people that are watching, and you know, I left.
Dude, he gave away so many tools
wrench,
that week.
Two pry tools.
Yeah.
Sockets. Ah, man. Yeah.
Apparently, his head was not in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs.
And that was before we went to vacation.
Yeah, you need
all of it.
You need to, you know.
That's crazy.
That's so sad. Hey Nando.
Yes.
I know how you love backup cams. Just finished one in a Miata.
Ooh.
Backup cam plus
Sorry for you.
convertible equals no fun.
Yeah, no, at all. Not at all, man. Backup cameras suck.
Yes, but thank you. I like free tools. Yeah. That damn 10mm and 7mm sockets. Dude, let me tell you what. When we were at MasterTech this year, Metra gave us bags of 10mm sockets, and we were playing the top. I think I might try to go buy some bulk ones for next year and just give them away, because the biggest hit was giving away 10mm sockets. These guys would do anything for a 10mm socket. It was so crazy. So I might see if I can just buy like 100 of each bulk and take those as giveaways, because that was a lot of fun. It was. I go, you want what's in this pocket or you want what's in this hand?
Oh, baby.
You know, I bet you'll play for what I have in my pocket. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
So we finished up the Tundra, 2025 Tundra.
2025 Tundra.
The one we just finished this morning.
Tacoma.
2025 Tacoma. Well, we showed you, yes, we finished it up. It wasn't anything we wanted to come back in and talk about. We will say this. There was some room underneath the passenger seat. We're able to get both of those underneath there. And the only reason why we could do that, and I wish I would have showed you, but I didn't, so I apologize. But if you have one, there is a metal bracket underneath the carpet, and it's like this far underneath the carpet. And you can just simply push the carpet down and put it, it's an M8 thread count. So you can just bolt right into that. And then there's actually adds plenty of room. So we had tons of room for the 2.4, the key lock, and the key 200.4, and a load resistor. So it all worked out great. This year's Christmas gift giveaways. I mean, I'll make them stocking stuff. Labor, so the thing is, I want hundreds of them, and I don't want to laser hundreds of things. That just sounds like a headache. I mean, in my head, I was thinking that, and then I go, no. So when is he coming back for the sub? A couple weeks, maybe. Month or so. Definitely needs it. Is there a backup camera you would purchase to replace a new Civic backup camera?
Ooh, if that's a new Civic, I think.
Is there something wrong with the Civic?
Yeah.
Like most Civics, you can retain the backup camera.
Yes.
I will say this in the Civics, they have the multi-camera where you can touch the screen to do like wide and change all the angles and stuff like that. When you integrate in the factory, right next to wherever the plug is, like when you plug into that, and then there's wires around where the camera wires go in, there's usually 2 extra wires there that are pastel in color of some kind. And those are ground inputs. And if you ground them one at a time, it'll change the perspective of the factory camera, because once you hook up the Civic factory camera to an aftermarket radio, it goes to super wide, like almost fisheye. It's totally unusable. But grounding one of those wires will actually bring it back to the right perspective. And then you just use one is top down, one is back, and then you can actually use the backup.
So it's a 2025 backup camera. Ooh.
Dude, 2025 backups are no bueno.
It's not like the digital one, like the
Nissan we just did?
Like the Nissan that we just did.
I don't know.
You gotta test it.
So, EchoMaster makes a universal mount camera that comes with a ton of brackets. So it's an eyeball with a lens. And
is that one, that box?
Yeah. Good call. It's this guy right here. So it is the PhD 5-in-1.
I got the BHD.
5-in-1.
Yeah.
So this camera here is kind of what we grab when we need to retrofit into a factory housing of some kind. So the other day when we did the 2025 CR, whatever it was, the Toyota, Toyota, yeah, whatever, that RAV4. We used that camera and one of the mounts to retrofit it into the factory location because we could no longer use it. So that's what we grab. You know, it's a really nice camera. It's good resolution. So Mustang, yes, yours was the Mustang.
It will be hard to add the mic 1 to my Mustang.
So listen, it's going to be expensive. So the mic 1 is going to cost about $150. All right, it's not going to be cheap.
Plus labor.
Plus labor. I mean, we could do it.
It's not hard, right?
No,
it's just time.
It's just expensive. You know, so you don't see a mic that you honestly don't even see most of the time anyways.
Right.
But hey, if $200 or $250 or whatever it's going to cost to do it is something that
so you don't see
so you don't see that little mic.
Yeah.
I mean, I will gladly put the $250 in my pocket and that's that. But that's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you.
But no, it's
going to be doable.
As soon as they release them, because they don't have it.
I believe, listen, I've seen it, I've touched it, and then they told me that wasn't the one. They have a new one. Of course. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to come at some point. But
at some point.
I don't know how it's a lot.
Dude.
What? That's a marble.
Yeah, you never play marbles when you were a kid? I play so much marbles.
Yeah, I had real toys.
Yeah.
I hide mine in the overhead console. Looks factory. And there again, in some cases you can do that. In a lot of cases you can't, because the mics, the aftermarket radio mics are designed in a different form factor than what most factory mics are designed in. That's why you typically don't hide them. Factory microphones are designed usually on a flat plane with a microphone facing down, and they're designed to work in the area that they're in, whereas the aftermarket mic's more of a shotgun style microphone that is generic, so to speak. And like shotgun mics don't work well off axis, meaning when you talk to the side of them, they're not really made to pick that up. They're made to be directional. So you talk at a shotgun mic. Like the reason why we don't use lapels during our live show is because we have a shotgun mic aimed at us so that we don't have to use those, because I find them very annoying. I'm more of I like shotgun mics, and so shotgun mics just work. But sometimes you can get them to work. Like one of the main cars we do relocate our mic into is the Jeep Wranglers, because it's the perfect angle, and the Corvette. So the Corvette and the Jeep Wrangler, we can put our mic in and get the right angle for it to work.
Still sucks though.
It just sucks to install it. I was gonna say.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
sucks to install.
You keep the factory. The factory location is just like put it on is...
You okay, man?
Yeah, no.
Sure? All right. He's just over here making weird squeaky noises. Anyways, so this was just a quickie. Woo, it's done. We'll get it out of here. The plan on this, so this is one of those things where I just bought it. All the speakers were dead. Needs a radio, needs subs, needs the whole thing. But Paul was like, oh, we can do speakers today. So today we put some of the Alpine S types in it, which that tells you that Paul sold them, because I would never sell them, ever. But we could swap the radio. We can stop the radio at some point. Wascally Wabbit. Ha ha ha. I don't like them. It's okay. It's okay. You can like whatever you like. It's just how it is. What I do like, though, you know what I like, Fernando? What speakers do I like?
Well, if you have like this type, right? It has 6x9 in the front. Tempo Ultras will fit. A little bit of modification, because they're like this one. But Tempo Ultras, you can find them in morelhifi.com. And in the back is a 6.5.
Yeah.
So you can get the matching one.
Tempo Ultras?
Tempo Ultras.
Yeah.
Or
you just do 6.5s all the way around.
You can do 6.5s all the way around. You know, you don't want to spend a lot of money.
Maximos.
Maximo. This is the work
HEs.
truck.
Yeah.
Hey, now maybe this is you, baby. This is your truck. You're gonna care about all these years.
Yeah.
And you want to put very nice speakers, like the hybrids.
Yeah.
Or
Senses?
yeah, I was thinking more the
Elates?
The Elates.
Wow, you're going all out.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Right?
It's true.
So,
it's
yeah.
true.
Go to morelhifi.com. If you don't know what we're talking about, go to morelhifi.com and click on car audio. In the tab that says car audio, and you will find all this beautiful speakers.
Fantastic. Good job. Okay, so here's the deal. The question you guys are asking. Hold on a second. I think there's this. It is. Okay, so pay attention. Here we go. This is the yet to be released Mic 1. Okay, hey Fernando, come here a second. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay, so the Mic 1 is going to come out, and if you've paid attention to any of the radio harnesses, they have this orange 3-pin cable on it that says mic, and that mic is for this device here. It kind of looks like this on the radios.
But male.
Right. So
female,
this,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
female.
So this is going to plug into here.
You gotta move your hand
I'm
so
working
I can
on
see
it.
it.
This is going to plug into that connector. Okay, and then we have all these. So these guys here are, like this one is for Pioneer. It has the little mini mic. This one is for Alpine. And then this one is for JVC Kenwood Sony. All right, so they're all different. This is a 3, this is a 2, this is a mini 2. So these will plug into this guy right here. Sorry, this guy over here. And then this will plug into the back of the radio. And then this guy, which is the power harness. So this will tee into the harness that you have. And then the red harness, non-disclosed, don't know what this is for yet. I'm sure it's for something digital, because this is a digital style connector. So this will probably plug into the red port on the RR. So all of this is going to go in. It's going to have a retail cost of around $150. It does not exist yet. We have been talking about this with them for over years. It just seems like years. And the thing is believe it or not, it's very hard to do. That's why you can't just take your factory microphone, cut the wires, attach them to your aftermarket mic and have it work. Because you can see here, there has to be 3 different microphone inputs depending on how the brand handles the microphone, just to get this to work. So this is a 3-pin, this is a 2-pin, micro 2-pin. So depending on what yours is, it might not connect. All right. And this has 3 wires, because again, some mics are going to be 3 wire, some mics are going to be 2 wire, and this will convert it all and re-EQ it. This will also allow for, it has an op amp in it, it has everything it needs, in order to retain the factory mic. It's a lot of work. So it has taken them longer than expected to do this. It's going to be cool at some point, but right now we're just going to put this back in the box, and that's where it's going to end up. Yeah. Now, can you add this at a later date? Sure, of course. It's just whatever you think is important to your mental status is whether or not you're going to want to replace yours.
In your eyes.
In your eyes.
So that's just...
technically.
Basically.
Technically.
But yeah.
That's in there again. It's like I said, it's just whatever value you put on your sanity.
I just want something for my VW.
Well, that one should work in your VW. That one should work fine in the VW. So after we got that one, they had to go back and redesign the circuit board.
Exactly.
So, but that one should work in the VW because James has a VW. He has a VW and it works in the VW. It was other cars that they found it didn't work in. What is the mic one for? Just retain factory mic? 100%.
For some cars.
Yes. If it's compatible, yes. It's just so you can retain your factory mic. Personally, I don't want to keep your factory mic because your factory mic sucks. Like Sue's factory mic in her Nissan just sucks. It echoes. There's background noise. It's terrible. I don't know why anyone would want to keep it other than looks. And it goes up by the mirror. You don't even see it. So, and they don't work in the face of the radio because everyone's why they just mount in the face of the radio because they suck there.
Well, the reason why is because you have sometimes your AC vents.
Yeah.
When you turn it on, what are you adding?
Definitely muffled and shitty. So as far as the Bluetooth speaker goes, unfortunately, that's the box for the Bluetooth speaker stuff. I have yet to get to the cheap tool store and buy the box. Put it sad.
You're lacking.
So lacking.
Seriously.
I know.
I don't know what you're doing.
And I was bummed too because this weekend we were out by the pool and I had to use the little JBL one, which actually worked out really well. But in the back of my head, I was going, man, I really wish I had my awesome Bluetooth speaker with my Moto 6.5s in it. That would be fantastic. You think it would motivate me to do it? Probably not. I heard Tampa hit 100 for the first time ever.
Dude, right now it's
this year?
93. Right now. We've hit
100 before.
100 and something.
Yeah. Free mic versus $100 mic. That sounds crazy. And there again, listen. As we all know, we're all along enough in our life.
You would pay $200.
Yes. I probably would. Yeah. More than likely would. So, okay. So let's put this in perspective, right? So we do car stereo. You guys like car stereo. You have a radio in your car, do you not? Do you not have speakers in your car? You have speakers in your car. They might suck, and you realize they suck, so you're willing to spend money to take out perfectly good new speakers from the factory and put better aftermarket speakers from whatever factory they come from. Sometimes the same. Okay? So, there again, what we put priorities on, each person is a little bit different. And it's okay. If hiding a microphone is what makes total sense in your brain, man, hell yeah. All right. Anyways, so that's how that works. Yeah, I know. Why'd you just hang up on me, man? So yeah, it's okay. But a new head unit comes with a better mic. 100%.
That's what we say all the time.
Yes. So I'm with you on this, but we get customers that want it, and if that's what they want,
they want to keep everything.
Then you just roll with the punches, man. It's okay. It's okay. I'm with you. It doesn't bother me, but there are things that bother me. That's just not one of them. But for the people that it is, we'll have a solution to their problem. Yay! Yeah. So that's okay.
$250.
Problem solved. High five. Yeah.
Give me my money.
Okay, that works. So that's the thing. I mean, let's take a look here. Let's even take my camera mic is fine. I understand both sides. Exactly, and I know you do. But it makes for a good talking point. So let's take a look here. Back in the late 99s, early 2000s, this amplifier was $1,000. Okay, this Macintosh amplifier cost $1,000.
That was $1,000?
This was $1,000. One of my customers bought this amplifier. It has since found its way home to me. But my customer bought this amplifier. It was $899 at the time. It's 4x50.
4x50?
4x50 AB class amplifier for $899. So it was $1,000 with tax. Now keep in mind, back then we didn't have in-dash display screens. It was just AM/FM CDs. So there wasn't a lot to spend money on. And people wanted to spend money. So they would buy high-end equipment. And this is the smallest one. They had a 4x50, 4x100. They had a monoblock. They had a big 6-channel. They had a small 6-channel. And they had them with meters and without meters. This is a piece of 3/8-inch thick glass with a beveled edge. This was the doom of this amplifier, by the way, along with these silver things, and there's little plastic things that go in here that just wreaked all kinds of havoc, but that's not part of this operation. So this is 4x50 watts. Now, if we come down here, this is also this is like 4x100 watts, okay? This is Moscone 410, so you have that. That's a 5-channel. That's a 500-watt mono. Now, the 500-watt mono, which is conceivably more power than this, because this was 400 watts, you could probably pick this up for $249, I think. And then they make a 4x50 also, which is probably the same price. This is going to be expensive, but hey, you know. But if we come down here, like this is a 5-channel Phoenix Gold from back in the day. This probably had a retail price of about $500. And it was 70x4, 3 or 400 watts by 1. Okay, now, and then there was this guy. This thing is gigantic, right? And this is a 4000. Okay, it's actually got two 4-channel amps mounted inside of it, because this is Brian's old amplifier. But my point is, these are 2 channels. This is a 4-channel. What's this, 4x100? 170? Something like that? Mm-hmm. So, there again, what's retail on this? Do we know? Yeah. So, there's a plethora of silliness to choose from in the world of car audio. Each person has to figure out what works best for their craziness, and then you go for it, right? I remember those amps. Those days of having to do the finance application for customers too. Those were the good old days. Yeah, dude. Finance.
Time hasn't changed. You can still do finance right now.
Yeah, but you had to fill out these giant, just applications from hell. I hated doing it because, the failure rate on it was over 50%. You know?
You have shitty credit.
Yeah, well, everybody had crappy credit, man. I mean, it was $500 just for the name. I mean, they were neat. There's a lot of technology that went into those back in the day.
A lot of technology?
Yeah. So one of the things that was really cool about this amplifier, the whole line of amplifiers, was they were dual fan cooled design. So there was fans on one end and not on the other end. And they figured out that, and to this day, people still don't do it this way, but they figured out how to get to get the fan to have equal pressure down the amplifier. Well, at least as equal as you could. Because if you put a bunch of holes in the side of the amplifier, well, then the fan is just going to dump air out as quickly as possible. So when you look at the heat sinks on the amplifier, obviously they go this way. But then they have holes that go this way, and they're smaller here, and they graduate up to bigger here. And so what happens is it ends up forcing the air through the amplifier, and it will still vent the hot air out the side. So they were getting much cooler amplifiers along here because of of controlling the pressure, the back pressure on the fan. So you would still get air out here. Now, if you just put big holes in the side, typically the air will just come out the side here, and it won't go all the way down the amplifier. And if you just have one hole in the air, this hot air, this is going to get obscenely hot, and you're just going to push more hot air down it. So this would allow it to vent as well as keep pressure down the amplifier. So something as simple as how they designed just a fan in the amplifier was pretty impressive. Now, one of the things that wasn't impressive is these were designed by home audio guys. That's why they had different thought process than 12-volt guys. And while they didn't understand that, they thought everyone was going to screw this aluminum heatsink to the chassis of the car, because in a house, you just set it on a bookshelf and everything just goes on a bookshelf. So they didn't properly chassis ground the amplifiers. So the first batch of amplifiers pretty much all blew up. And what we would have to do to not have that happen is we had to run a remote turn on out of the ground, and then when we screwed in the amplifier, we had to put a little, just a ground wire to there to chassis ground the amplifier so they wouldn't launch into the stratosphere.
That was bad business, bro.
It was pretty screwed up. It was pretty screwed up. They would have ball tires, but leave rattling windows. Yeah, ball tires are the best. Hey, Dean and Fernando from Kenya. What's happening?
Yeah.
That's all I got. Fan design and heat dissipation is actually a lot of neat stuff. So, since we're talking about fan design, when you look at the coppers benefit from this, the SE's signature edition amplifiers, because if you look at this on the side, see, here's the actual heatsink here. This is just an aluminum shroud that goes over it, or steel. This is probably steel, and everything was mounted on the base and the amplifier. Now, when you look at a copper amplifier, it's actually designed different. So this is now flipped 180. So instead of it being here, it's here. But when you flip over the amplifier, the heatsink's on the inside. Okay, and it does have a fan, but you also have these rails here that are open. So this is an air chamber, okay, that allows more breathing. They could have made the amplifier this big, but why? So they add these air chambers, and if you're crazy like Brian, you could run a cooling tube through here, on your own. But this also allows you to mount all of your output devices along here. Plenty of room behind it, so if there's plenty of cooling, and then the upside down design gives Arc Audio that unique signature look of theirs, where they have this nice flat finish to the amplifier, as opposed to having all these fins and stuff like that, kind of like this. So yeah, that's how they do that now. Are the Voce speakers still relevant compared to new speakers? So Voce just got an update earlier this year, so we now have Voce 2s. Dos. It's one of my 6 Spanish words. And those are pretty nice from what we're told. So yeah, we don't have amplifiers or anything like that, but we do have the new Voce 2 speakers. So if you're a Voce fan, you're in luck. There's new speakers for you to play with. I guess they're kind of relevant. Arc Audio DSP PS12 Pro versus Audio Control DM810, pros and cons. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, so that's like asking what's the difference between a regular Camaro and the Camaro that runs on NASCAR. Okay, they're really different in a lot of ways. Sure, they all have steering wheels. They all have, at least one seat. They have tires, and there's a V8 in both. Sure, that's about it. Other than the amount of channels, the PS12 obviously has 12 channels. The DM810 has 8 channels. Okay, we'll try to make this as fast as possible and try to hit key points. First off, de-equalization capability. Can they de-EQ a signal? DM810? No. Arc Audio? Every Arc Audio DSP has a full suite of EQ for input. So you can do time correction and equalization along with all pass filters and delay. So you have a whole front EQ section separate from the main EQ section. Now to go back to the DM810, it does have an all-pass filter, one all-pass filter for each channel. So if you were trying to fix an all-pass filter from a factory system, technically yes you could, but you could not. There's only one on each channel. So if there's 2 on the left and none on the right, you're pretty much out of luck. Okay, so there is that. But as far as EQ goes, none. Now on the Arc Audio, every EQ band on the input EQ can either be a high shelf, low shelf, EQ band, parametric, or a all pass 1 or 2. So tons of adjustment there. Now, if you're just using RC inputs or toslink from a source unit, obviously that means nothing. So we can, you have to decide, is that important, not important. They both have toslink input. The Arc Audio also has digital input. The Arc Audio has, they both have presets. So they both have 4 presets. I think the Arc Audio has more than 4, but either way, they both have presets, so you can do presets. Now, they all have 30 bands of equalization per channel. So, in the DMA-10, it would be 8 bands. And I'm sorry, it would be 10 times 30. In the ARC Audio, it would be 12 times 30. Plus, each ARC Audio in advanced mode gives you an additional 7 bands per channel. So it's an additional 7 times 12 of equalization. There again, each equalization band can be used as high shelf, low shelf, parametric, all pass 1 or 2. So each band in the main EQ. Now, where you're really going to notice the difference, and this is one of the features that kind of separates the men from the boys, is there is no grouping capability in a DMA-10, meaning if you adjust the tweeter on the left, adjust the tweeter on the right, and then need to go back and adjust the tweeters together, you cannot sum them back together because it'll ask you, do you want to use the left or the right, and that's it. Whereas on the ARC Audio, you can do summing. So you can tune left, you can tune right, and then you can tick both boxes, and it won't adjust either one, meaning they'll both stay where they were, and then you can do a tandem adjustment. And what it'll do is whatever the highest point is or the lowest point is where it stops, whether it's on the right channel or the left channel. So for example, if you were trying to go down and one was 3 dB lower than the other, the lowest you could go down on the other side would be 9 dB, because 12 is as low as you could go, if that's the case. So way more adjustment from that. They both have time alignment. The ARC Audio is going to have group time alignment, which means when you're done, if you need to, let's say you want to adjust a tweeter in the mid-range at the same time, you can do that with the ARC Audio. With the audio controller, you're going to have to do one, then the other, one, then the other, one, then the other. So group adjustment is a big deal, and that's what separates a lot of it. Now, as far as all the other things, the ARC Audio does have an up mixer, so if you want to do something with center channel or you want to have rear effect, it has that. The ARC Audio has a third EQ. That EQ is there for you to either use as a final EQ globally, so it's a tweeter, a mid, and a sub, high pass, low pass shelf, and a mid shelf that you can adjust the frequency as well as the Q. And you can tell what channels you want it to affect, all or just tweeter or just mid or mid and tweeter, so you can select what channels you want the global EQ to adjust. If you're going to use it as an AR, which you cannot use the DM810 in an AR configuration, so with the audio controls you can do iData link configurations to all of them. So if you're going to plug into, let's say, a factory Ford or Chevy or whatever, and you have the AR capability, you can do that with ARC Audio. You can't do that with iData. I'm sorry, you can't do that with audio control. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing some other stuff too. But there you go. So, I mean, if I was to summarize to make this shorter, the most important things would be group adjust, whether it be equalization or time alignment. That makes a big deal. Most DSPs do not have that feature. There are others that do. So, for example, Helix has group adjust, Audison has group adjust, Moscone has group adjust, ARC has group adjust. JL, I think, has group adjust. Audio control does not have group adjust. And that makes life a lot easier. So, yeah. Not that it's bad. It's just, when you want things to be easier. How do you feel about Electromedia customer service? I don't really have a feeling on that.
Well, you gotta read the rest of it.
Is there more?
Yeah. Right there.
It took 3 weeks to get a return email from them. They asked a follow-up question. I returned their email and have been waiting 2 weeks for a response. You know who doesn't work there anymore?
Who?
Wayne. Wayne left.
Okay.
Which might be why this guy's having such a hard time, because that was Wayne's job. They may be going through a personnel change. That might be why it's taking so long. Not an excuse. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying why it could be falling through the cracks.
But they normally trying to get...
I don't know. I mean, every manufacturer tries to do it pretty fast. Mm-hmm. I'm a phone guy, so I have, I call people on the phone. I don't...
But you have...
I have numbers.
You have the numbers, so
yeah.
they actually be...
But,
You're not waiting in line.
I'm calling... Because I don't know. That's ridiculous. I'm going to go with that's ridiculous for sure.
Yeah.
Anybody's customer service, regardless of whether it's them or not, you have to wait that long. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Is replacing speakers in the kick panel still a thing? Or is placing speakers in the kick panel still a thing? Not as much as you would think it was. Not like previously, you know.
Yeah.
And I still feel it's the same reason why you do it in the past was if you're going to compete. So
I mean, if you're
competitors
competing, yes.
competitors tend to do it. They also like to do upfront subs in the footwell or in the glove box. If you can make it a center console, even better. But most cars don't have center consoles that you can do that in anymore. So, but yeah. Kick panels are typically reserved for competitors. In the day-to-day speaker world, time alignment has pretty much solved a lot of that for most of us because we can now, if we can get the doors to not rattle, we can use alignment to line them up pretty well and make them sound fantastic. So, yeah, there's that. I think that's the easiest explanation for why that's kind of fallen away. Yeah. Okay. What is Mirror superior software, Helix or Audison? I'm considering both softwares and software can work with. I mean, at the end of the day, they do a lot of very similar things. It's how they get there. So, Audison likes to do a lot of graphics, meaning they have a lot of iconography that they use to do things like join channels and make things do. So you have to understand what all their little graphics mean, but they do have a really good like PDF that shows you what all the graphics mean that kind of speeds along the workflow there. But very similar as far as function, features. They just put them in different places. And that's it. Those are really the only difference. Whereas Helix has their virtual channels, which is they pre-group the channels for you if you turn that on, as opposed to have to do it later. And they really push that feature. And then it's not like you can't do it with Audison or Moscone or Arc. You just select them after the fact. Moscone has been doing it that way for years. Like when you set up a Moscone DSP for front, every speaker that's on the front channel uses the front EQ. It's kind of like their thing. Like the fronts have a 30-band EQ, the rears have a 30-band EQ, the sub has a 30-band EQ, and the center could have a 30-band EQ if you're doing center sub. You set all that up in the beginning, and then you have 9 bands of equalization that you can custom tailor those other things to. So there's a lot you can do. And then also in their grouped EQ is you can turn on and off bands while you're in the 30 band. So like if you're like, I want to adjust this frequency on the left side but not on the right side, you can do that in their 30 band. You can literally turn off individual channels, which is really cool. So each manufacturer has some neat functionality built into their DSP. It's just a matter of what do you understand. Like for Helix, it's a known fact. I just have a hard time with their input-output. It doesn't tick boxes like everyone else's does. Granted, every time I look at it, it hurts my head. So, yeah, you know, that's just what it is. And I'll figure it out eventually. It's not like I won't. I just need to put another 10 minutes into it that I haven't. So, but there again, what you need to do is pose the problem. So pick a problem, pick any problem, and then try to solve it with the DSP software on your Windows machine. That's how you figure out which one you like, okay? So if I said, hey, how do you do this? Well, how do you do it? Figure out how to do it with that particular DSP software, and then you're going to know which one was easier to use, and you're going to use that one. Sound-wise, they both sound great, so that's really not the problem. Yeah, definitely down. Arc Audio is future-proof. Nothing is future-proof. Yeah, nothing is future-proof, but they do like to push updates, and they all do. I had them, and it doesn't matter how clear you make it to passengers, they step up. Thank you for the suggestion of the Epicenter Micro last night. Kind of researched it through some of your old videos to get an actual definition of what it's doing. Yeah, visually it's way easier to see what it's doing when you see it on an RTA. We'll be doing that with the new Pro. It's just time. Ooh, hello from South Africa. What is up? All right, So it is Tuesday. That's all we got for you today. We got to get back to work. Thank you for spending some time with us. You guys have a great, wonderful day. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
What's up?
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
I know, right?
It's like,
Is it Wednesday?
I thought it was Saturday today.
I wish it was Saturday. It feels like this week is taking like longer than usual.
Jesus, it's only Wednesday.
I know. It feels like it should be like Friday.
I want it to be July again.
It's still July.
Oh, July 4.
Oh, because we weren't here.
Yes.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Bay.
Welcome to the.
This is another Tacoma. It's a little bit older Tacoma, and today Paul sold them a full Kenwood system with the exception for the subwoofers, except compartees.
Yeah, because they don't fit, I believe.
No, we just don't use them. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way.
Yeah.
So a full Kenwood Exelon system.
Yeah.
And these are the famed 6902s. Hey, from Boston.
What up?
There you go. Sounds good. Definitely take a break.
You?
So 6902s went into the doors here. So let's take a look. Let me hop in here for a second. So I can Jacksonville in the house. What's up, Lance? Lance Doss, the boss. All right, so check it out. So where's can you grab me one of the factory ones?
Yeah, of course.
So this is the Kenwood 6902s, designed to fit right into the factory. Boom, there you go. Bob's your uncle. What's up? So here's the speaker that comes out. And this is the speaker that goes in. So it is a little bit bigger. So this is not a full 2-inch. It's close enough though. So either way,
I think it's just a bracket speaker.
Yeah. So this one is just gonna go right in here. Super easy. And so you'll notice that we did cut this. This is a plugged in speaker, and it's a 4. So there's 4 wires that come into this. So the mid range. So how it works is wiring comes into here, goes through this, that goes off, and then it Ys out to down here. The reason why we cut this one off as opposed to using the plug is that it's easy enough to put back on if we needed to down the road, which we know we're not, but if we needed to, it's just a red and black wire, super, super easy. And so this is one of the exceptions we make where we will come in and we will snip. And then we soldered in. So here's the Kenwood. So this is a front rear sub 5-channel install. So here's our plug for this one. So this one plugs in, no big deal, right? Yeah. Now you want your plugs to be on the inside of the vapor barrier, not in here. In here, they're going to get wet, they're going to corrode, it's going to suck. You want them inside of this where they're going to stay nice and dry and you're not going to run into any problems. Passive crossover is right here for the 2-inch. So when we remove that portion, we make this whole apparatus that then just clips into place right here, and it goes off and powers the speaker. So really nice installation as far as that goes. Clean, plugs right in. So you can still, like, if you need to take this off, it just unplugs via the factory clip. This will unplug via factory clip adapter. This is the bracket. So one of the things that's really nice about the 6902, 6903s, what's up, hey, is that they come with bracketry in the box. So this is part of that bracketry that Fernando has filed or broken away to go into the door. They also give you this foam ring right here, similar to like a fast ring, but it comes in the box. They have foam for the back of here. They have foam for the back of here. There's all kinds of foam. They give you tons of foam, but this is nice so that when that door panel goes back on, it's going to go on like we've talked about, just like the factory piece does. So on the back of this door panel here, you see this. So that foam will sit right on top of that, and there you go. But it comes in the box. You don't have to spend extra to get it. That's why the 69.2, 69.3s are such great value. Is for one of the best 2.5s, period. Sound-wise, this thing kicks ass and takes names. And 2, they just go in so nice, and they give you brackets and foam and all that stuff to make your job super easy. The only thing that doesn't come in the box is this. They don't give you the plugs, so you still got to get the plugs. But you don't have to pay for the brackets. So, one of the things is by the time you buy brackets, by the time you buy foam, you just buy the 6903s, 6902s. So makes life super easy there. All right, enough of the speaker. You can put the door panel on now, Fernando, if you'd like. Rears, did you use these?
No, I used it because the new ones.
The new ones, that's right.
Yeah.
So 175s.
KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yep, X175s. These are the new 6.5-inch coaxials replacing the 174s. New brackets.
Yep.
Foam, whole thing in the box, so you don't have to use these, which I'm guessing are Toyota brackets that Paul gave us. Who knows? So don't need to buy brackets. Value and performance, fantastic. If you compare a similar speaker to the Alpine Type X, what would it be? Depends which level of Type X you're talking about, because they made a couple different versions of Type X over the years. Like there was the original Type X, which was fantastic, came with these giant passive crossovers. And then there was the Type X after that, which was not really what I would consider Type X compared to what the original was. It's kind of like they dumbed it down a little bit. But either way, price-wise, it just depends what you're looking for. That's a hard one to go by. I get it, K2, but K2 costs more than the Type X did the last go round. So, like K2, Type X was replaced by what was the ones we did yesterday or the day before? Monday? Yesterday? Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
It was Status. So Type X was replaced by Status.
Yes.
In which case, you're probably looking at K2s. K2s are flax. Type C was poop. Type X was poop. I would agree with you on that one, Ed. I was never... The last two versions of it have not impressed me at all. But that's okay. Moving on. So, for radio, this is getting a Kenwood Exelon 908, which is already all set, ready to go into the dash kit. So here's the factory. Pack makes this, which is the factory match color. So this looks really nice. I cut the arm shorter so that it takes up as little room as possible behind the dash. So that is done. Harness, going with, of course, the RR2 right here. The other day we were talking about, which I think I threw them away. Hold on. The other day we were talking about mic 1s and when will we get to use them and all that other fun stuff. This is the plug on your harness for mic 1. So if you did an install and it has this harness right here, then that means it will be compatible with mic 1. Now, on this particular radio, it does not have that feature because this does not have factory Bluetooth. So this will not take on mic 1. Mic 1 is days away, by the way. I just got a call. Well, it's funny, we were talking about it yesterday. I got a call today about them, and they are doing final testing. And I know this because they're going to have us do a bunch of testing on them. So here is the harness. We're doing a backup camera. We're doing a dash cam, which I just got done. We're doing the Kenwood dash cam, which is going to plug into this. Nope, not that. It's going to plug into this here. So the backup camera, we've started adding these 2-pin plugs to. So this just plugs right into the backup, done. And then this is a 3-pin plug, so we'll be able to plug the dash cam in. And then the remote turn-on wires ran over to here, where this. And so that will get fed from the amplifier, which we haven't unboxed yet. It's going to be 901.5. So a little bit more power, a little bit bigger system, so to speak. All right. Had a system installed in my 4Runner, but almost every time I turn it on, there's a loud boom in the sub. Why does that happen, and how can I fix it? That's called turn-on pop. Sometimes there's turn-off pop. It all depends on what else you had installed. So usually there's two things that typically cause it. Everyone automatically says ground, so check the ground. But the amplifier is probably working fine, so it's probably not the ground. Usually it's a turn-on issue, meaning there's an inrush of current when it turns on, and you're hearing that boom because it doesn't have filtering in the equipment to deal with it. So most of the time it is equipment issue. That's not to say there isn't cool fixes for it. Access makes a piece which is called the AXPS Pop Stop Access PS. So AXPS, you can get it on Amazon. And what it is it's a delay for both turn on and turn off. We have a video on it, so you can search AXPS by Metra or Access, and we'll show you how to use it. And basically what it will do is it will, if it is a turn on issue, which you can test for, which I'll tell you in a minute, you can install this, you can add a delay, and so it'll stop the amp from turning on when everything else turns on, which will usually fix the turn on problem. Now, can a gain turn up too high cause turn on pop? Of course, because the sensitivity is up too high. Yeah. Now, if you want to test to see if it is a turn on, the best thing to do is go back to the amplifier, unscrew the remote turn on. Have somebody turn on the car. Obviously, the amplifier is not going to turn on. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then tap the remote turn on onto it. See if you still get the pop. If you don't get the pop, that piece will work. If you still get the pop, you probably need a better amplifier or a better source, or turn the gain down, check the ground. I don't know, but yeah. Okay. Would the Kenwood front and rear set work in a 2025 Tacoma non-JBL? Yes. All versions sucked. For sure. Okay, so the other thing we're doing is we're adding a new backup camera. Thanks for the info. You're welcome. So this actually has a backup camera. It's located up in the mirror. It can be removed. It can be relocated down in the radio. However, what is this, 2010? It looks like crap. Like it's burned in. The plastic is, it's hard to see in the mirror. So the gentleman that owns the car is like, can I just get a new camera? And we're like, of course you can get a new camera. That's Paul. Of course you can get a new camera. So we're installing the camera we love, which is this guy here, which is the Tag Cam by Echo Master. Mm-hmm. It is the Cam LFD PL-N, and that is this guy. And this is my favorite camera of all time. This form factor, they keep making it, thank God. As you can see, dude, you can't even tell there's a camera in it. It just looks like, we've all been to the stoplight and we've seen that shitty camera attached to the back of somebody's car, and you just want to go over there because it's plastic. And okay, maybe you would, I don't know. You would rip that thing off, throw it on the ground because it's trash. That'd be violent. Don't do that. That's vandalism. But this guy, you can't even tell it's a camera. Like, it's so slick and so nice. So it'll work on front and rear. Has all the stuff to do that. Has the what I like to call jet ski lines. Uses centripetal force, which is kind of funny. So we're gonna put this guy in. Dash cam is already in. So dash cam went in right away. So it's right there because I put the Bluetooth mic in, and so we were running the wires. It also has a rear cam, which is located right here. So that is because his sliding window goes that way. So we put it as close to the center and up as high as we can so that hopefully it'll get those crazy drivers. But yeah, that's it right there. Oh, cool. Pardon me. Super sexy. And then it'll be a Fox box. We just don't know which Fox box yet. We haven't gotten that far. More than likely that'll be tomorrow morning because I still have to get the amp out of the box. I have to finish zip tying the wires down the A-pillar here. Now, pro tip of the day. And this is one that is going to be difficult, meaning this is the one that, and that is when you're running multiple wires down your A-pillar. It's so much easier to take the A-pillar off to run the wires. It gives you so much room to do it. This is, you can zip tie everything up along here. However, getting this off in some vehicles can be hard because they have these weird airbag clips. Most new cars, they come off fairly simply. Sometimes you got to get in there, you got to twist this thing like this. But taking this off is my preferred method, just because I can tuck those wires up in there nice and tight, and they don't get anywhere near this because we don't want to get in the way of that. So spend the extra time to take off this. It just makes life easier. in the long run. So now we have to fish the wires across this right here, which will be fun, but yeah. So we live in a state where, you know, I don't know, everyone likes rear cameras now. It's just like, it comes as a kit from Kenwood, because people like to run into the back of you, and then when they run into the back of you, they blame you. I don't know. You got me. But plus they make for good videos, so you can see the cop car behind you. So anyways, this is the kit here from Kenwood. And then they make this kit right here, which is the hardwire kit, which we're installing right now. It does come with a cigarette lighter adapter in the box, or we always, like, if we're gonna do the install, we're buying the hardwire kit, which is nice because it comes with all the fuse taps. That makes installation super cool. And of course, if you don't know how to install one of these, just go to our page and type in Thinkware dash cams. There's all kinds of videos showing you how to put these things in, because why not? Another dash, yay, right? Jesus. I mean, whatever. It's a dash cam. Makes people feel good, right?
Yeah.
You got one in your car, right?
What?
We put a dash cam in your car?
Yeah, we have a dash cam.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Thinkware dash cams are fantastic.
Is it okay to just use the front 2 channels off of the factory radio for a key lock, or will I need load resistors for the rear channels? Okay. Yes, it is okay to use the front channels as long as there's nothing happening out of the rear channels. So, for example, if you have backup sensors, and the backup sensors are coming out of the rear channels, it's something you have to test for. You still may want to maybe hide a speaker in the dash or something like that, so that you get the beep, beep, beep if you need it. Now, if nothing is coming out of the rear speakers, put the load resistors on them. Like, if you're just going to disconnect them, go ahead and put the load resistors on them, okay? Because the amp is a chip amp, meaning the front and rear are one circuit. So you don't want half of the amplifier to be under load and the other half not. It will probably work just fine and last till it doesn't. But we always go ahead and throw the rear load resistors on. We just don't hook them up to anything. So if we're doing front only, we still load down the rears. It makes a lot of sense, if in fact it needs load resistors. Don't get me wrong, though. I mean, there's been plenty of times, and depending on the age of the car, where it has an AB class amplifier in there, in which case it doesn't need load resistors. So just, if it's a newer car, let's say from 2015, 16 forward, I would probably load it down. Well, I would load it down. Kenwood makes the best line of integrated. They make a lot of cool stuff. We do like our Kenwood. Any rim decoration for adding an amplifier to a hybrid car? Is it a hybrid or an electric? There's a difference. So if it's a hybrid, that means it's got a gas generator under the hood, and there's a 12-volt battery, and most of the time everything works cool, right? Like in a Toyota. We do a lot of Toyotas, and we're just smart about it. But don't get me wrong, we've been stupid about it too. Like, there's been plenty of Priuses that ended up with a big-ass 3,000-watt monoblock. If you're going to do something like that, I do recommend maybe adding a battery. Well, that was weird. Apparently wants me to use like graphics and stuff like that.
Well, it's letting you know that you can use it.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyways,
it's like, you boring.
I am boring. There's no doubt about it. Sorry, I was just answering questions. Anyways, if it's like a Toyota hybrid where it's an electric / gas, just be efficient on it. If it's a
2025 hybrid Toyota Camry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Go to town. Don't go crazy. Like, get new amplifiers, modern tech. You know, something like a Blackbird or Nighthawk or something like a Helix. Something that is efficient and small and puts out a lot of power. Like, that's what we do. So, like, we just did a 2024, or it was either 2024 or 2025 Toyota Camry not too long ago. You can probably go back through here and it's there. And we probably put a Blackbird in it. I know we put a Blackbird in it because Blackbird is super efficient. It's 1,000 watts, gives you plenty of power all across the board. You just get a lot of sound out of it, and it's not taxing on the electrical system, which is nice. Backup cameras are so much fun. Dean, wears a dash cam on his head with a top down. I mean, I could put it right back here, but the Kenwood one is actually waterproof, so we can put it on the outside and not worry about it. Wire loom works, always fun. Correct. Looks like Kenwood is leading in car audio tech as far as radio speakers are cool too. The only thing they really suck on is amplifiers. They just don't have a good mix of amplifiers. Now with the direct replacement, that's kind of put them ahead a little bit, but they still don't do DSP, and they make great amplifiers. It just don't have a large selection of them. So I wish they kind of up their amplifier game, but they probably won't. You bet. 25. Yep. Camry. Yep. So, and there again, I heard the same thing. I think the current draw thing on that is something from Crutchfield says that, because you're not the first person to say that, but we haven't run into any issues. So there again, don't put old school, tech, guys that build amplifiers from the 80s and 90s that are affordably or not affordable anymore because of where they come from. Don't put those amplifiers in the car. Get something that is modern tech, that is efficient. If you're a Kicker fan, Kicker makes great amplifiers. Like, you could put a Kicker key in there on the front stage, kick ass. You can even do an LX amplifier. Those things work down to like 6 volts. I mean, it's pretty amazing. New tech, though. You want new tech amplifiers. Do you have an opinion, or have you worked with Goldhorn DSP? I do not have an opinion. People love them. There's a lot of people that actually love the Goldhorns. As far as the software is pretty basic, but apparently that's okay because they just sound amazing. I don't know. Is there a difference in SQ between Helix and audio control DSP, or just solely preference, ease of use? Totally different from the ground up. Way more features on a Helix. You're just not going to get the same control with an audio control compared to Helix. Helix you could do way more with. Now, is that enough to make you like, I gotta have a Helix? It's up to you and what you're willing to put into it. It's also way harder because with more control comes more knowledge in order to use it. So the audio controls are fantastic because they are easy to use, way to get up and going and sounding good. But the Helix has, once you've gotten to the point to where, what else do I do? The Helix has a lot more features that allow you to do a lot more fine tuning that the audio control does not. And that's true with most of the other, like your big four, Audison, Helix, Moscone, and Arc, all offer controls that the other DSPs don't. So I started using wire loom on everything now, even charger cables. Yeah. Already give a take tip of the day. Okay. You're welcome. Anyways, that's what is happening. Old Toyota Tacoma in for a total upgrade. Good job, Paul. We're pretty excited. We're banging through this thing. We actually only started we got started at about 1 o'clock. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good for 3 hours. We'll finish it tomorrow morning. I got some stuff I need to do. We still got another hour and 15 minutes in the day, which is plenty to me finish getting the A-pillar here all pretty gussied up, looking pretty. And then I'm going to pull the driver's front seat, make an amp rack to get that thing underneath there. Dean, I have a Helix amp with ESP. If I get an Epicenter, do I need it? Helix would say no, because they do have an Epicenter-like feature built into it. I don't remember what it's called, but according to Jeff the other day when he was on talking about the new 6.0, there is an Epicenter-like feature built into the new software. I think it was in the old software. It was just hard to find. Now it's a little bit easier to find. If it's anything like everybody else trying to make an Epicenter, it's probably not as good as an Epicenter. I just like the Epicenter. I'm not going to lie. I see what everybody else is doing. Epicenters just do it really well. It's so much easier to adjust. But it's got one in it. It's got a feature in it that does some harmonic manipulation. I would give it a try first and see how it works before you go out and spend money on the... Ooh, that was neat. Unless you just want to have an Epicenter. Would you agree, Fernando?
100%.
There you go. Ooh. Okay.
Is that...
We're back up. I'm sorry. The power just went out, which just killed the Wi-Fi, so I had to switch to cellular. Yeah. I like that you give unbiased opinion, Deans. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Back to the roller. Yup. Back to putting it. I love my Epicenter Micro too. Elias, you're doing great today. Bass extender or expand. Yeah, it's one of those two. Thank you. You're welcome. It's up there. Is the new Epicenter Micro Pro. I can't wait to take a look at that. Yeah. You know, big Epicenter fan. Thanks, guys. You're welcome. Okay, so that's it. We're going to let you guys go there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This has been 5 Minutes of 5 Star, brought to you by the fine folks at
High Five. Morel Car Audio. High Five. Morel High Five Car Audio.
MorelHiFi.com.
Morel America.
Morel America.
That's right, here on Instagram. Go check them out if you need some car audio. MorelHiFi.com.
Boom. See ya. You know, people often ask, like, what car...
You win the lottery?
Well, I don't know how to win the lottery, but what car do you not like?
What car do you not like?
What car do you not like to work on?
I find out what cars I don't like.
Well, Corvettes. I don't like working on Corvettes.
I don't like working in old cars. Period. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't like to work.
Oh, whatever.
No.
And honestly, it's like the SC430. It's really a lot of it's the owner.
I would not say it's the owner. It's the car. The car.
Well, the car sucks, but it's a twofer. Anyways, baby blue Corvette. Where do I begin? So it's in here today. Apparently, this has been on and off the schedule for the last 7 months. It's finally in there. What's up, Danny? It's finally in here, and naturally, this is one of those cars that Paul never took a look at, so it's here today. This car is effed up, man. It's just, it's funny because it's like he always brings stuff in to make it like super simple, and he always gets it wrong. So, all right, first things first. You see this red power wire here? That is CCA. Okay, and now, see these two holes? These were for a fuse holder, this crappy fuse holder right here. So instead of making a bracket, they drilled these holes. This is supposed to be a weatherproof box. Like it's got a gasket here. This is made to be sealed. It's not made to be drilled into. There's relays that sit here. And it's amazing that they didn't actually screw into the tops here. So I'm guessing they got lucky and no, they're right on top of the relay. So that's cool. So don't ever mount anything on this. So now I got to go through and I got to melt plastic into this to seal this back up so that, because we took the screws out, I'm not going to put the screws back in because that's just stupid. So CCA up here ran underneath all of this, which is cool. It's like don't zip tie it onto here. Get it underneath the latch. That's really neat. The loom they used was dry rotted, fell apart. Probably came in the kit with the CCA, and that's what happens with that crap. Okay. This is my favorite. Out of all the nonsense that we've found in this car, my favorite is this right here. Ready? Oh, ready? What in the hell is that? What is that? Like, seriously? Okay, so what it is this. Okay, so let's figure out. These were the screws that were holding it in. So let's dive into this. First off, the car has whatever this stuff is all over it. I'm guessing it was some kind of tape / soundproofing. I don't know what soundproofing qualities it has, but they have it all over the car, and it is just disgustingly sticky. All right, so this... Ooh, they used home screws. So these are like cabinet screws. So this is some DIY stuff. Because, like, These are for when you buy like IKEA and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, you can get them other places, I'm sure, but this is definitely some DIY crap. All right, so buried underneath this is a DJ tweeter. So let's see if we can.
Make sure you cut it too.
I'm trying not to cut my finger because. Okay. There we go. And so for gasket, they put more of this crappy ass tape, more of the sticky shit everywhere. Okay.
So reinforce.
Yeah, it's to reinforce the stupidity. So anyways, there you go. That was, and I don't even know what this is. I mean, it looks like it might be like a home tweeter bracket, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
And they just like, it's like, oh, it fits perfect. And if I put 10,000 screws in it, it'll be great. Okay, so there's the tweeter that we took out. So keep in mind, they took out a wideband and they put the smallest tweeter in the world in here. Good morning, friends. What a great job. All right, so there's excitement level number one. All right, so we got that. Now let's grab this. So, okay, let's take a look at this car for a second and kind of figure out what we have. So up top here, in this spot, in the top of the door, is like a 2.5-inch middler, which back in the day sucked. It sucked. But then you had this 10-inch inverted subwoofer. This was the subwoofer for the car, and they would make this whole door rattle. And they still do. So, I mean, they still use it. And then Metric came out with this bracket to take all of that and put it down to a 6.5. Nothing knocking them, but it's just, because that was whatever. And this is the passive crossover. Now, they did run wires into the door instead of using the factory wires because they didn't know where the factory amplifier was. So they did do that. And this is the top here. So this would have been for whatever went here. This is for the subwoofer. All these wires are at the factory amplifier, so there's no reason to do that. And this is the sound treatment they did. So whatever this thin, like, look how thin this stuff is. Like, there's nothing to this. And it's yeah. So good on that. And then here's more of that tape. Like I said, there's more of this tape. It was all through the center of the car, all through here. That was holding down the wiring harness that was getting smashed. So we're just kind of throwing all this stuff into a pile here. And somewhere, one of these, where it was at in the back of the car. Oh, here you go. See how this is all melted together. Good stuff. So anyways, we just throw all this stuff into a pile and we'll deal with it later, all the CCA crap. Usually put in a nice bag and give it back to the customer. It's incredible how poor the quality of that installation is. I'm looking forward to the good work you do. Greetings from Spain. Hey. Okay. Yeah. So back to whatever this is. Let's take a closer look at this nightmare right here. Clean off some of my workbench. So they're getting more of this tape. I don't. So this is everywhere. So okay. And this was all over the backside of this. And of course, we didn't use screws that fit anything. And look how many of them there are. Look at all these. This is like dying. This is like putting your hand in the mouth of a shark. I mean, and again, Hertz speaker apparently got hurt. And let's pull this guy out. Like, why in the world would you screw in this is like a 32nd of an inch piece of metal. Why would you use, it looks like they painted the tips with like a marker. The nice thing is I really don't have to care if my drill slips because the speaker's cached. Okay, so we're just gonna put these in the garbage. Who feels bad about throwing screws away? Like, to me, when I throw screws away, I always get nervous, like they're gonna fall out of the trash can and then end up in somebody's tire. You know, it's almost like a battery. You wish there was some, like, place to put screws that are unwanted. Okay. Ugh. All right. Ew, gross. Okay, so this is the destroyed DJ DV. And what like, wow, like, this is the sound treatment. How useless. This is why you guys buy good sound treatment. Don't buy the crap. It's just, luckily it's just peeling right off, so that's kind of nice. Okay. And more of this trash.
That almost came out with the one piece.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. All right, so at least we got back to a semi-usable bracket, but not really anything I need to worry about because we're not going to put a 6-inch back in here. It seems kind of stupid. Considering how big the opening is and where we're at in the world right now. Every single day. Yeah. Good afternoon. GL audio versus image dynamic subwoofers. Ooh, that's a good question. Image dynamic makes some pretty nice stuff. So does JL. So that's a tough one. I guess it would depend on which one you're looking at, because there's a couple. Obviously, there's several different lines. And I don't think it's fair to say, like, one manufacturer makes greatest everything of all time. That just doesn't happen. Okay. So the other thing, too, that we're going to dig into is, so in the back here, he has a backup camera right here that's just kind of chilling, which is cool. It works. I don't know how it works. So I'm thinking it's grounded somewhere back here. So here's the funny part. They ran a power and ground to this little amplifier that they were running, the dual 4-gauge CCA crap. So this little thing is what was powering the front doors. And it was just screwed in behind the seat to the carpet. So it was just sitting, right here, which is like, how dumb is that? But whatever. This floor mat over here. All right, there you go. So the wires were all just kind of pinched in through here. My battery's flying. Anyways. And then it ran up through here, which is dumb. I mean, you can see where that area was melted into this. Like, it's dumbest. Ooh. IDQ versus W7. I would probably get an IDQ. I really like the IDQ. Anyways, so there's where that was. And then the power wire was up through here, and then that's why the red is still there, because we're going to have a power wire go up into there to power this dumb little amplifier we're going to put in. Not that one, another one. So, all right. So this is a combination. So, like, those are all the flaws with most of the flaws of what we're dealing with. And so now in typical customer fashion, because the customer always knows everything, you really don't. Stop buying stupid stuff that you feel I like it because I liked them back in the 90s. Stop doing that. Reach out and talk to a real person, because some of the stuff is just trash. Anyways, for radio, he's providing this guy right here, WILX, yay. And then for an amplifier, he decided to go with this guy. So this is going to power the system. Whatever. Not happy about that, but that's... And then, of course, Paul, to finish the combination, sold him a set of the 5 1/4s, which would go on the rear, because right now they're factory. And then he sold him another pair of 6 1/2s, and I was like, you're stupid. So to try to bail out a little bit there, we're going to go with these. So these are the S2 S80Cs. Now, most of you guys have never seen these before because they're not a very popular product, but it is an 8-inch that Alpine makes. So big 8-inch, how cool is that? So we're going to probably make new brackets, don't know. This is gonna be for an 8-inch now. So not for whatever this is, that's just dumb. So,
How deep is it?
oh, there's the window's down. There's nothing behind the door. So we have tons of room. So we have, and that's not that deep. Can we please have Mary Lou join the show, please? Yeah, we'll see if she can come on this Saturday. See if she's free. Yeah, I don't mind. I love having her on the show. It's been a while. It has been a while, Greg. And Fernando, text Mary Lou, see if she wants to come on the show Saturday.
Okay.
It's that easy. All you gotta do is ask. We are here to oblige and make you guys happy. That's what we do. So if she is free, I'm sure she'll do it. But see, these aren't that deep. So it's almost as deep as a 6.5. Probably just a touch. Let's find out. Obviously, you just look on the side of the box, but why do that? It's 2 5/8 to the bottom of the basket. All right, so to that, yeah, we're good. So I'm looking at the bolt here, which is, and the camera is not gonna, but yeah, we got almost 3 inches. So yeah, we're good. We're good. We'll make some really nice stuff.
So you take a request. Can you talk to Seth?
I will reach out to Seth next week. Remind me. And we'll see if we can get him on somehow. So yes, that perfect. I would love to have Seth on. Yep. Wow, no options for a better amp. So there again, there's tons of options for a better amp.
Oh, it's tons of options for
tons of options for adding, subdoing, all kinds of stuff. This, keep in mind, this is when you guys are up late at night and you go on to some websites, or you're just doing, stupid Amazon stuff, and you just purchase stuff.
People.
You just purchase stuff.
Research.
And then you bring it to us to install, and we're like, well, I've already spent the money, so we're just going to do this. And you know better than we do. The 30-plus years of experience of building systems in cars means absolutely nothing.
You're old.
So you guys, this is literally what happens when people that don't know anything about anything go out and buy stuff.
Sometimes we ask me, what would you do in the Corvette? I would go to morelhifi.com.
Hold on.
And guess what? I would find the 9-inch speaker that they make.
That's a little bit more budget than this, though. I mean, at least...
That's why I say, if somebody asks me...
you. Okay.
I would go to morelhifi.com.
Spicy.
Pick the 9-inch. And put an AV class amplifier. The Morel also sells.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Oh, you're going full out.
Of course.
And well, they do have a small Class D as well.
They do.
So we could...
4-channel?
Yeah.
Or 5-channel?
They have a 4-channel and a monoblock. They probably fit better in those back pockets.
No, I'm saying that I got 5-channel, and then you make it like a 3-channel.
Oh.
Power the fronts.
Oh.
And the sub. Boom.
Yeah.
Go to morelhifi.com. That's the place that you can find the beautiful 9-inch speakers. So, morelhifi.com.
Ultimo sub too. Yeah, definitely. So you're thinking he's doing better by buying that. Keep in mind, he actually had a nice Sony in the dash already. So,
Hello?
The only reason why he bought the Alpine, according to Paul, is because back when he was in high school, he really liked Alpine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, question is, good morning, guys. Question. So, I installed a subwoofer with a built-in amp. I connected everything how it's supposed to be, as YouTube video says. Power going to battery with the fuse that it came with. And connected the ground to the body. when I kind of boost the volume, it kind of sucks the power like the sound has a built-in compressor. When bass hits, it almost mutes. That means you're probably clipping the amplifier inside of it. If it's one of those little all-in-one subwoofer gimmicks with the amp, yeah, it's probably running out of juice. Or the subwoofer itself is shorting out and clipping the amplifier because you're trying to move it farther than it can. You're just asking, it sounds more than likely, there again, I don't know, pick a choice of words you want to use, but it sounds to me like you're probably asking it to do more than it's capable of doing. Those are typically not something we recommend. The only amplified subwoofers that we recommend or do, Rockford makes their P300 series. They are fantastic. We do hundreds of them. They make a small 8-inch, which fits in a lot of stuff, and that's the go-to. Outside, and they make a 10, and they make a 12, and all of them sound fantastic. But anything else other than that, well, yeah, okay, so like the little subwoofer goes in the spare tire. That's pretty awesome. But we just do that with an outboard amplifier, so no, that doesn't matter. No, so it's just the P300s. So, yeah. And I have a bunch of those that people want me to test. Got it, thank you. You guys are, well, mine is Rockford too. Oh, okay, so turn the gain down. Turn the gain down. So on the P300s, gain down, crossover down, silver volume down. Like, you never turn any of that up. Doesn't need any of it. Like, just make sure the switches are set right. That's all you got to do. The other thing, too, is even though you think you have a good ground, take a digital multimeter. This is important. Take a digital multimeter. You can get it for $35, whatever. Put a digital multimeter on at the plug. When the bass hits, make sure you still have 12 volts. Make sure it's not going below that, like 6 volts, 9 volts, something like that. That would be a great way to test it as well. That was a great tech tip I just gave Bobby, and how to see if you're losing voltage at the amplifier. Just go to the amplifier with your digital multimeter, set the DC, let the bass hit, and see what your voltage is. If it goes below what it's resting at, then you know you have a crappy ground, or you have a crappy power. Could be either one. So you could go to the ground and like that you think is a ground, or go to a different ground and see if it changes, and then you'll know whether the ground is bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the stuff. Okay, so here's what we got. So that's the plan. So the plan is to put these 8-inch in the door, make new tweeter mounts, power it off of this way too small amplifier, and hope for the best. But it's going to be an awesome install as far as cleanliness goes. So, sorry, it's a Rockville. That's the problem. It's a Rockville. I know those. Those actually sound good for about 10 minutes. Remember those? Remember the time we put 2 of those? The guy brought in 2 of those. We put them on the back seat of that Chevy Silverado. It was like 6-7 years ago. It sounded good for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he came back the next day and both of them were blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
nothing. It's yeah. They just can't do it. Switch it out for a Rockford, and you won't have that problem. Anyways, okay. So here's what we'll do. We're gonna be banging this out, and then we will come back on once we get a little bit further in, and we'll show you what we're doing. Kind of like a 911, where we showed you the bad. Perfect. I know those are terrible. I know it's okay. A lot of people buy them, you know, but I can't find one I like. Anyways, we're gonna do this. We're gonna start going on it, and then we'll come back on and we'll show you where we're at. And so we'll kind of go through the day, part in tomorrow. And so right now we're gonna end this so we don't waste too much time. We get back to work. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Let's go.
Bye. How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, guys. It is time for a Corvette update.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Fernando finished getting the back of the car apart, and he has this side. The speakers in here. He rewired the camera because the camera was all weird. They were getting a ground from whatever this is, so they grounded it into this harness. bad idea. Just run the wire forward, ground it with the radio. Don't do that. So we went ahead and pulled all this out. We ran our own power and ground up to front. So this is all the, we took all this silliness out. Ran our own. So that is now zip tied into place up behind here. When you replace the rear speakers, you do have to pull the gas strut off, which is why we have these two hood holders holding up this so that it doesn't obviously slam down, because that would be tragic. We also have to change the rear speakers. You got to take off the target top. So we took that out. And next, right now, he's just finishing this side of the car. Yeah. So we relocate. This is one of the two cars that we can relocate right the microphone to. As you can see, it aims forward. So we put our microphone in that, and then you can now see the 8-inch in the door. So this is that 8-inch. Now, as we said, we are going to take a look at what we did. Now we also have our speaker located in the back. And so let's take a look and see how that all transpired. So in the last video, we cleaned all the goo off of this guy here. And on the wall, we have a bunch of these. These are Mobile Solutions rings. They get pretty big, which is cool because it's bigger than our laser can do. And yes, I have all the routers and but this saves time. And as it turns out, this one right here is the perfect size for this bracket. Now this size, we can actually laser this out, which we always, as Gary Bell says, when you're going through a parking lot, you just always drive to the front to see if there's a spot at the front that you can park in. I don't do that. I always park in the back, but it's always nice to check and see if you have something that's already made so that I don't have to fire up the laser for something like a circle. And we did. So this is perfect. So this actually fit the diameter of the speaker and the diameter of this opening. And so we used this on the back side to router out this hole, and then we made a 1/4-inch spacer here, and then we also made a 1/2-inch spacer here. And so what's going on is this is getting, so it's like an inch thick baffle that this is mounted to now. So we needed it to come out just 1/4 of an inch because we were able to put this in and make sure we cleared everything in the window. The window and all that. So we put the 1/4 inch in, and then we put the 1/2 inch from the back side. And then at each one of these points, we screwed the two together. That's why you can see more screw holes on the back than you do on the front. So we screwed those together, and then we added the speaker to it, adding 4 more screws. So 8 screws in all holding the piece together. And as you can see, unlike the previous one, hey, look at that. I can run my fingers across it, not have to worry about it shredding my arms to pieces. This is the factory plug. This goes up to the tweeter. So this will go up to the tweeter, and we can just plug in, and that's good. And this will go right into the door. We put foam on the back side of it, and there's foam on the back side of this. So proper way, this is pretty awesome. All set and ready to go there. Now the tweeter was even more fun because we have this shape here that we wanted to adapt it to. And so when you look at this, it looks like it could be this complex shape. And hi, Brian. And the reality is it's really not, because if you go this way, you can see now it's a square, right? It's a square with a circle. And when we're designing things, we always tell people, hey, it's all about circles and squares. And so we have a square, we have a circle, and if we design it properly, what we end up with is this guy right here, which at some point was a square and then a circle. And so, we came up with this, I guess it's like a fireman logo almost. Okay. And on the other side, because you can see how it's inset, we wanted to move it into, so we added this 1/4 inch to the front. And that is so that it will, because these stick up about 1/8 of an inch. And so I didn't want the speaker to suspend itself from here. I want it to go down into the hole. So we added that 1/4 inch onto it to raise the tweeter into the door. So now this is the one time where a tweeter that's kind of tall is more beneficial. So we moved it in. And so when this guy goes in here like this, we can line up the logo on the front. But if we come over and look at it from the side, we can see that 1/4 inch is pushing down into this hole, sealing that up. And that will make all of this luscious S-type tweeter go into it and make everything fantastic. So that will solve that problem. And for those of you guys that are going, what did the tweeter look like before? Just in case you didn't see the one previous. It looked like this. This is what they used. Okay. I won't even get to the door because the door was ridiculous. All right, so now we have the speaker locations fixed. The nice thing is the 5 1/4 actually just bolts right into the back. Hello, Bobby. So there's no worries there. Now that we have that done, I'll get those speakers in and finish that up. The next step, once we have all the speakers into place, is going to be going down in here into this dark chasm of doom where those 2 gray and blue plugs are. That is where the factory amplifier was. I know, yikes. That they decided that they didn't want anything to do with. Pay no attention to this wire. It's just a fish for right now. If we need it, we'll use it to pull through the firewall. If we don't, we'll fill the hole and call it a day. Anyways, that right there is our factory amplifier. So all our wiring that we're going to need for our amplifier is there. This is also where the new Alpine amplifier will be going. Live from Disneyland on Saturday. Lucky you, man. This is the plug we're plugging into. So now the other thing too that was really fun about this window is that if I look up like that, these wires over here, those wires were not zip tied into place. They ran an extra wire into the door, and I don't know what it's for. It goes into the mirror of some kind. It looks like an antenna, maybe the old Sirius XM antenna. Either way, when the window rolls down, it rips onto those and pulls all the wiring into the car, into the door jamb. And so all of this wiring was all messed up, which I'm sure we'd get blamed for because, whatever. But so we had to zip tie that all up so the window can go down, which is, pretty nice. Okay, pro tip for Bobby. If you decide that you're going to put sound treatment in the bottom of the door like this, make sure you don't cover up the holes that are along the bottom here that the wire drains out, that the water drains out of, because that would be bad, because then water gets trapped in your door and can cause all kinds of problems. This is a fiberglass door, so whatever, but it becomes a nice place, like a little tub, causes things to corrode and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's that. All right, that's update number 1 on this. It's 5 o'clock. Realistically, we'll probably be back tomorrow morning to show you where we're at, because it's probably going to take me from now until then to get these doors back on and figure out what I need to do to bypass or to plug into that. Now the harness for the amplifier is just a GM like 2003, BHA 2003, something like that. Those cars need a hot, neutral, and ground. They do. Yes, they do. And that's why we're rewiring the camera, because they did a crappy job. Anyways, so yeah. So till next time, Fernando.
On to the next one, guys.
Wow, he just went all the way to the end. See ya. We detail cars now?
I mean, probably that would be more money than car stereo.
Probably right. Do me a favor, pop the hood for me for a second.
Pop the hood?
Yeah, just pop the hood.
What are you having here? The turbo?
Why would you have a turbo? It's a V8.
Why? Turbos?
I mean, you can. Sure. All right. Let's kind of go through this one by the numbers. This is the Corvette we started on yesterday. We're done with it now. We're getting ready to deliver it back to Paul. The first thing that we want to do is we melted the holes over the screw back together so that there won't get any water inside of this. So that's done. We also took out all the power wire from here. So this is good. We can put that little rubber booty over it there. We also filled in the hole. So there was a hole, we filled it in. Next, it got new speakers. So here's that nice Alpine 8-inch in the door. You can see the tweeter up top. We showed you the new brackets we made for those. And then down there, that's where that silver bracket is, where the factory amplifier was. And now that is where our Alpine amplifier goes. Now the really cool thing about that is Metra makes a harness for GM Bose. And even though this isn't a GM Bose, it's still GM amplified, which uses the exact same plug as the Bose. And so we were able to take that harness, pin it appropriately because it was not pinned for this at all. And so that amplifier plugs in just like the factory amplifier plugs in. So we made our own harness so that the radio goes in, uses the RP5. When it plugs in, all the wiring behind there matches up with all the wiring at the amplifier. So everything just plugs in like factory. So that plugs in just like the factory amplifier does. Uses all the same wire coloring. We wire up the radio behind there, plug the RC, like we didn't have to run any wiring at all in this car. Everything is done through harnesses, which I think is really freaking cool. Afternoon. And so then we put the ILX, he bought himself an ILX W670. That is in the dash. We had to do a new dash kit because his was broken. And then he also bought the little Alpine brick amp that normally goes on the back here, but it's like silly. We just put it down there because we were going to have to put wiring there anyways. So this way we were able to just plug everything back in. It's fantastic. Now the one thing we did run into is his volume up button doesn't work. So go figure. Older car, these are what's going to start to happen. So this 1 through 6 and track up and down, we're actually doing the exact same feature. So we made this big giant button right here is now your volume up, volume down, track up, track down. So we were able to at least give him volume up through this, which is pretty nice because that's a useless feature for the most part on aftermarket. Most of the time they program this for source or something, which is kind of silly. USB went here in the cigarette lighter. This is a wired CarPlay Android Auto, so we went for this location here. And that's really about it. So took this all back, got it all figured out, got it all straightened up, and now it sounds good. Now it sounds good for sure. The 8s have a nice amount of sound. This is a big chamber that is all isolated. So the Corvette does a really nice job of encapsulating the door, so to speak. So it gives us a decent amount of mid bass for an inexpensive set of speakers, which is kind of cool. So she's done. Get this thing out of here. Now I have no idea what the rest of the day holds in store for us. It's Friday, so it could be anything. But that's it. I told you I'd come in and tell you about the finished Corvette. It's done. She looks good. We're going to get this thing out of here. We'll come back later today if we have something to talk about. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.